Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So we're going to dive straight into some more Yona here with Yona of the Dawn, Volume 20. Excuse me, I just figured I have not been doing author credits for this series, which is my bad, but Yona of the Dawn, Volume 20, story and art by Mizuho Kusanagi. So we're getting straight into it with chapter 112, Gathered at the Fort. So we see a rattle as Yona's like, my head's spinning. And as she wakes up kind of groggily, Riri's like, Yona. It's like, Riri. It's like, what's going on? What happened? It's like, I don't know. It feels like we're in a wagon. And you see a rattle as the wagon comes to a stop and you hear a get out. And you see that they come to a place where there's a bunch of people at work building a giant stone wall. And you see that there's like a bunch of bruised laborers and slaves that kind of like working away, covered in grime. And it's like, huh? Where are we? It's like, Sei? We're in Sei? So you see some of the other captives nearby. It's like, what's going on here? We were injured during the festival in Tosui. The clinic was packed. Tripping over my tongue. The clinic was packed, so we were being taken to a neighboring town. He's like, Sei? Like, why would you bring us all the way to Sei? I didn't agree to this. Take us back now. And you see one of the guards nearby just lashes out with a whip. You're an eek and an ah. Excuse me, I can't scream. My throat's a little dry. It's like, stand down. If you try to resist, we'll kill you. You've been bought to Sei as slaves. You have one simple job. Build this fort. And you see the guy kind of just like cowering in fear as Yona asks, what's the purpose of this fort? He's like, quiet. Slaves don't ask questions. Don't think, just do. Just do the work you're given. If you do your job, we'll let you leave. And you can see Riri's kind of like appalled by this. It's like, Riri and I were at the inn. The only other person in the room was, it's like, Subaru. It's like, got you too? Are you alright? And you see that she's actually nearby and Riri goes and runs off to her. And Yona's like, Riri, keep your distance from her. It's like, Yona? It's like, Subaru, who are you really? Why have you brought us to Sei? It's like, Subaru? It's like, I'm no one terribly important, young lady. It's like, what is she talking about, Subaru? It's like, I failed to mention this, Lady Riri, but I'm a merchant from Sei. It's like, you mean? It's like, the very one you were looking for. It's like, you're selling Nadai? It's like, you've been cracking down on our products, so business has been rough lately. You're in the way. It's like, so, that story about your missing son. It's like, I knew I could draw you out with that. During the festival, I sowed seeds of confusion and rounded people up in the chaos. Thankfully, we had a big haul. It was a great success. You see Riri getting furious. She kind of grabs her lapels and is like, Subaru! It's like, you there, settle down! As the overseer tries to whip her, you see Yona taking the blow for her instead. And you see him just kind of laying into her with a whip. He's like, stop it! He's like, see what you get when you're defiant? And Yona just kind of glares at him. And he's taken aback by this. And Subaru's like, I managed to bring them here unharmed. Leave it at that. It's like, oh, fine. And you see Yona kind of like unsteadily getting up. So collect all your belongings. Hurry up. It's like, my bag and short sword were taken. I don't have anything I can use as a weapon. And that hairpin was in my bag. And she looks back and is like, Riri. And she's like tears streaming down her face. Like, I'm so sorry, Yona. I shouldn't have gotten you involved. I had no idea about Subaru. It's like, don't cry. I'm fine, see? In fact, this might be for the best. Remember our goal? It's like to stop them to die that's been coming in from Sei. It's like, exactly. This place seems like it could be important. Let's play along while we figure out what they're planning. Jeff, Yona. It's like, they just whipped you. It's like, you're so strong. It's like, because you're with me. It's like, now where in Sei are we? Why do they need to kidnap people? And like Ona's kind of like holding her hard arm. It's like, how Gija and the others aren't around. But Riri's with me. I can keep going. I can fight. I've got to keep her safe. This is horrible. We're injured here. How much work do you think wounded people can do? And so Yona calls up to one of the guards and goes, hey, those people are hurt. You should at least treat their injuries. And Riri's like, Yona. And the guard's like, fine, I'll get them some medicine. It's like, medicine, my arm's broken. Medicine won't fix that. It's like, you two, have some too. And he comes back with like a cup tray holding cups of what seems like water. It's like, huh? This is alcohol. It's like, it's a medicine we use here. If you drink it, it'll restore your energy. It's like, actually, my body does feel a bit lighter. Drugging them. It's like, give me some too, I want some. And you see all the injured people kind of going up and like greedily gulping it down. You have, young lady, you should have some too. You'll feel better. I was taken from Kohka too, but this medicine saved me. Yona's like, alcohol. And she sees Subaru kind of just sitting nearby, grinning. And she slaps the cup out of Riri's hand and goes, Riri, don't! It's like, ah. It's like, what is it, Yona? It's like, that's Nadai. It's like, everyone stop! Don't drink that alcohol! It's laced with... It's like, no need to fret, young lady. In small doses, Nadai is medicinal. It's entirely legal in Say. It's like, Nadai is legal here? It's like, I've seen so many people who've wasted away because of it. I can't believe you use it to force people to work. It's like, those people must have used it incorrectly. You're responsible for how much you drink here. It's like, there's no way we're drinking this. It's like, as you like, but we only drink alcohol here, no water. How long will you hold out in a dry place like this? We'll talk about that at the end, I guess. We'll talk about it at the end. We pick up back at the end where Huck's kind of got like this blank expression. You hear a rattle and go, J-Huck comes in and goes, Huck, over here. We may have figured out what happened to Yona and Riri. It's like, they're in Say? It's like, yeah, according to these guys. Subaru the innkeeper sent them there. It's like, she's a Nadai merchant from Say? It's like, Lady Riri's investigation was interfering with business. Subaru's scheme was to start a riot at the festival and kidnap her. It's like, Sinha caught a few of the kidnappers. And Gita's like, several people went missing during the incident. And Huck goes, where exactly are Her Highness and Riri now? It's like, Say is bringing people in to build forts near the border. The kidnapped folks have probably been taken there. It's like, Yona and Riri were taken to do forced labor? That means they won't be killed, right? It's like, if they obey orders. Yona's like, can they obey orders? It's like, what are the forts for? It's like, I don't know. And you see Huck just like stepping on his injured foot. It's like, talk or I'll break your leg. Understand? It's like, the forts are for defense and to mount raids against the Water Tribe. And Tetra's like, the Water Tribe? Is Say planning to start a war? It's like, we've got no clue what the royal family and nobles are planning. I only know we got paid to bring warm bodies to Say. We have to get to the... Oh, sorry, Yun's like, we have to get to those forts and save them. It's like, yes. It's like, oh, one other thing. The people building those forts don't get any water. Just alcohol. Alcohol spiked with Nadai. If you don't hurry, those girls will be strung out on the stuff. Poor thing. Just because she's noble, she thought she could change the world. Look where it got her. And you see a furious... it's Tetra. Just punches the wall next to his head. And on the other side, like, Iris stabs her sword blade next to him. She goes, that girl is no mere noble. Lady Riri is the cherished daughter of Anjungji, chief of the Water Tribe. He's like, chief's daughter? So you prepare for the consequences? Lord Jungji and the Water Tribe will never forgive Subaru or your gang. The still waters will become a tsunami to swallow you. So do you know what happens if you provoke a dragon to rage? If anything happens to Her Highness, we'll burn any nation to ash without hesitation. God, I'm so tempted to title this chapter something obvious, but I feel like I won't be able to get away with it. And you have, okay, we're dealing with 2 forts. So you have Team Huck, Yun, Gija, and Sinha, and teams Jeha, Zeno, and Ira. It's like, yeah, since we don't know which one Yona and Riri were sent to, we're splitting into 2 infiltration teams. One team will find and rescue Yona and Riri. Then as soon as we see our chance, we'll destroy the forts. Got it? Like, you should stay here, Tretra. I'd much rather go along. And Ira's like, don't worry, that punch you threw showed how much you've recovered already. You'll be back to fighting in no time. It's like, you think? I'll be training so I can spring into action any time. And she's silent before she goes, Ira, take care of Lady Riri. It's like, I will. I swear it on my life. It's like, Yun, we'll work out the details as we go. If things get out of hand, rein them in as best as you can, especially when it comes to Gija. It's like, I'll do my best. You have Huck. She's all right. I'm sure of it. It's like, Zeno, Ira, let's get moving. Jira, good luck. You see a little clink as you see the little, as Huck kind of clasps the necklace that Yona gave to him. So we have chapter 112 end, and then we have chapter 113 fight. As we hear Mistress Tetra reporting in, 37 people went missing during the incident. Signs point to them all having been taken by people who claim to be shuttling the injured to safety. It's like this town's proximity to the border suggests that Say embedded several spies here. Search for any who still might be here. Okay, at once! Oh! And you hear what? And then she looks over in surprise as Jungji's strolling up. And she's like, Lord Jungji! It's like, what is he doing here? It's like, Tetra, I've come to see what Say is up to in this town. Why are you here? I'm given to understand there was an incident last night. Tell me, where is Riri? And she's like, if I tell him where Lady Riri is, he'll find Lady Yona as well as Huck and the others. They're all in the middle of this mission. Do I dare tell him the truth? It's like, Lady Riri is... And the guard behind her speaks up and goes, Sir, permit me. Lady Riri was caught up in last night's events. She's been kidnapped by Say. He's like, Ramaru. It's like, go on. It's like, I'm so sorry. It's entirely my fault. It's like, I'm not asking for an apology. It's like, Ira has departed for Say to save Lady Riri. It's like, by herself? It's like, yes. It's like, something's happened to Lady Riri. You see Suwon up in disguise behind Gunji. It's like, she's been taken by Say? It's like, you needn't concern yourself with this. It's like, your daughter being kidnapped by another nation? That strikes me as very important. And Tetra's like, who is he? It's like, we're here to learn more about the fort Say is constructing. Does this have something to do with them? Please tell us. It's like, he knows about the forts? He's like, yes. It's like, I see. Lady Riri was abducted during the chaos to be used as a slave in Say. He's like, left out the parts about Yona and the others. Excuse me. And Suwon's like, I was planning to eventually destroy any Say forts being built for military purposes. But if Lady Riri might be forced to drink and die, it's a race against time. It's like, he has a noble air about him. Who is he? He seems gentle and kind. I feel like I've seen him before. It's like, It's like, but I guess we have no choice. It's like, where do I know him from? It's like, shall we march on Say? He's like, Your Majesty. And then Tetra's shocked. She's like, Majesty? And Judo's like, you can't be serious. A king can't just march into another nation with so few men. Do you think we'd survive? It's like, General Judo. It's like, spare me this nonsense. It's like, General Judo of the Sky Tribe? It's like, nonsense. It's like, you're so silly. It's like, I remember now. He was invited to a festival at Suiko Palace a few years ago as Lord Jungji's guest. He hadn't taken the throne yet at the time. This is King Suwon? And she's like nibbling on her knuckles like, as Judo goes, we should return to the palace and gather our troops. We can't afford the time. It's like, perhaps I shouldn't let him cross paths with Lady Yona and Lord Huck. It's like, what if something happens to you? You can't be replaced. But if His Majesty were to lend us a hand, I'd be entirely confident that we could save Lady Riri. And Judo's like, regardless, I can't let you do this. I'll tie you up if I have to. It's like, very well. It's like, I'm sorry, General Junji. It's like, no need to apologize. My family's problems aren't yours to solve. It's like, please give me a bit of time. I have an idea. See, rumbles, we pick up back where we left off with Yona and the others as they're hauling sacks next to the construction of the wall. Yona's like, my throat's so dry. We've already been here for 2 days. I need to look at this clearly. They're not only building this fort, they're also importing and making weapons. And you see them building catapults and sling throwers. It's like, some of the slaves are from Say too. More arrive every day. It doesn't matter if they're women or children, they're all put to work. In fact, the children are the easiest to handle. They learn quickly and don't fight back. Nadai is used to control them so that they don't feel any pain and no one runs away. And you're rattling, mind your place! As you see someone tripped and fall, like the guards like whipping them. It's going to guess that those who break from taking too much Nadai are disposed of. It's like clenching her teeth together. And Riri's like, water. It's like, water. It's like, water. And she's kind of like swaying. And you have a, what's wrong? As one of the guards comes like maliciously, yanks her back by her hair. It's like, thirsty, aren't you? You're moving slowly. And Yona's like, Riri, It's like, looks to me like you haven't had a single drop of alcohol. And Riri's like, it's not a problem. I was like, we're giving this to you for free. Don't be shy. Drink up. And he takes out like a little jug and just like pours it over her face. He's like, Riri! I was like, you, get back to your station. And Riri just spits out the alcohol and just like wipes her mouth. She's like, you? And the guard's like, you little. It's like, thank you. I've been wanting to wash my face. I feel quite refreshed now. She kind of like tosses her hair back and see the guards just getting pissed off with her. And you see Yona going, Riri. He's like, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's like, Yona, I'm so angry I can't take it anymore. This place where they trample other people's dignity. It's utterly despicable. It's unforgivable. I don't want them to think they can get away with this. But what frustrates me the most is how badly I want water. Even the tiniest sip. I almost gave in and drank that alcohol. It's so pathetic. I thought I'd never give in. Even if I was totally parched. I can't believe I almost broke down just from feeling cold liquid. He's like, I'm scared. It's like, Riri. He's like, I'm so scared. It's like, thirsty. So thirsty. It's like, you're not pathetic at all. You did nothing wrong. It's like, I'm so thirsty. So thirsty I feel like I'm losing my mind. It's so hot that everything looks like it's glowing red. Even if my arms and legs burn away to nothing, I'll destroy this rotten place and get you to clean water. You see later that night as they're sleeping, you see like Riri's kind of like grimacing a little bit, and she wakes up and is like coughing. It's like, my throat's so dry it hurts. It's like, Yona isn't here? And you see that Yona snuck out to do some reconnaissance, and she goes, if we're going to survive here, I need to get my hands on some water. With all these soldiers around, there has to be regular water somewhere. There aren't any guards. Maybe there's some near the barracks. And as she's running out, Riri's going to look for her. And you see the guard from before, kind of like his hand looming out from the shadows. He grabs and goes, hey, what are you up to? It's like the soldier from earlier. It's like, nothing. I just wanted to feel night air. I'm heading back now. And his hand kind of just clamps down on her shoulder. She's like, ow. It's like, he's not letting go. It's like, I told you I'm heading back. Let go. Like, trying to run away? You are, aren't you? It's like, no, I'm not. It's like, runaways are executed. He's like, I'm heading back. Let go. It's like, he's so strong. It's like, you girls really think you're something. All the other slaves fall in line quickly. It's like, but how? It's like, it reminds me of something. It's like, oh, of course. The Nadiadic back then. It's like, disobedient slaves are disposed of. It's like, he's like him, but this is different. That man had a deep sadness to him. This guy is a weakling who can't feel important unless he's crushing someone. The guy like grabs her hand, like tries to pull her along. He's like, move it. And she kind of just falls forward, like tackles his legs and trips him. It's like, hey! It falls with a guh. And she grabs a rock and just throws it at him with a toss. He's like, you? It's like, I'm weak too. My throat is dry. My hands are trembling. I want to crumple to the ground and cry. But I won't give in. That girl I care about so much would never give in this situation. And as the soldiers kind of like drawn the sword on her, Yona just like is like leaping up behind him and just smacks him down with a giant piece of wood. And he's like, gah! He's like, I'll kill you! And turns around, slashes with the sword, and like cuts the top of the, shears off a piece of the wood. And Yona just stands there and just stares him down. And as he's advancing on, like, Riri looks nearby and sees the broken piece of pottery, I assume. And she kind of just like leaps into him, like stabs him with a piece of it. Oof. Stabs him with a shard of the pottery in the back of the neck. And he falls with a flump. He's like, I was like, Riri, it's like, are you all right? It's like, Yona, I. And you see her going, let's go. It's like, go? It's like, we're escaping right now. There aren't many guards around. It's like, huh? It's like, if we stay here, we'll be killed. You have chapter 113 end. And you see that she's helped Riri bandaged her hand as she's like leading her through the woods. Do you have a Riri? Are you okay? And she hears like wheezing and coughing behind her. It's like, I'm fine. It's like, let's rest here. You have chapter 114, can I tell them someday? And you have a bonk and an ow. It's like, oh, fruit. That's how it just like drops him on her head. It's like, thank you, owl. It's like, I wonder what kind it is. hope it's not poisonous. If we can get a little water from it, she kind of just crunches into it. It's like, here, Riri. It's like, Yona. It's like stabbed, and you see it's like tears starting, like the shell shock starting to kind of set in. It's like a person. It's like, Riri, if you hadn't done that, I'd probably be dead. It's like, but forget that for now. Try to sleep. Ah. And you see as there, like Yona's kind of like settled down next to a tree, he's really sleeping next to her. It's like, I hope a day comes when girls like Riri won't have to carry weapons ever again. It's like, Huck and the others must be so worried about us. I wish I could see them. And you see the next day back at the fortress, you see one of the other workers kind of like stumbling to the ground and following. And one of the guards kind of like whips his whip. Goes, on your feet. It's like, please wait. I can't keep going. Let me rest for a bit. It's like, there's no time for that. We were ordered to complete this fort in a week. If you don't want to hurt, then get back to... And you see a... Bruh! And someone just slams into him. And you see the next page is Guido with just like a boatload of lumber on his shoulders. It's like, sorry, did I hit you? It's like, why you? It's like, you should be more aware of your surroundings. And Guido's like, are you alright? I'll carry those for you. He's like, huh? It's like, stay out of this. It's like, how are you so clean in these conditions? See, the Guido's just put the guy on top of the piece of lumber so he can carry him around as well. He's like, I failed to see the problem. I said I'd carry his load. I can carry him as well. The guard's like, do as I say! And he tries to whip him. And Sinha just comes and grabs the whip with a snap. He's like, what? It's like, Sinha. It's like, he caught my whip and he's blindfolded? It's like, is your hand all right? It's like, are you okay? And you see Yona coming to provide some medical assistance to the worker. Walking on a broken leg must be agonizing. You need to rest. So, you filth, what are you doing? Unauthorized behavior will be punished. If you're too tired, drink some alcohol. And Yona's like, unauthorized? You're bringing people here by force and giving them alcohol full of who knows what. How would you feel if you were treated that way? Injured and forbidden to even speak up about it. And the guard's like, you've got a big mouth, as he tries to bring the whip back. And someone just grabs him and just hoists him up. And the guard's like, oh, it's like, put me down. And Huck's like, oh, sorry, I mistook you for something I had to carry. And he just throws him down. He's like, curse you! How dare you slaves be so defiant? He's like, defiant? That's a mean thing to say. Look how diligently we're working. You see them all like carrying several bundles each. The guard's like, oh, what's with those guys? So those slaves arrived from Kohka last night. So why would you bring warriors like them? No slave has that kind of energy. It's like when we captured them, they just sort of came along. And look how much work they're doing. You have to admit they're handy. It's like, ugh. It's like, anyway, don't poke your noses where they don't belong. He gives the others ideas. Like, got it. And you see later in that day as they're exchanging notes, like, do you see anything? It's like, Yona isn't here. It's like, I asked around. No one's seen any girls who look like Yona or Riri. It's like, so Her Highness and Riri must be at the fort Jeha and the others went to. It's like, probably. Jeha said he'd find a way to let us know if he meets up with Yona, so let's bide our time for now. We'll destroy this place once we know Yona and Riri are safe. Gijo's like, leave that to me. I won't leave a stone standing in this awful place. Jabba, Huck, don't worry. Jeha and Xena will save Her Highness. It's like, yeah, I know. I'll let them handle it. Gijo just smiles. He's like, what? It's like, you seem rather anxious. I'm glad you're able to have faith in them in this situation like this. It's like, who's anxious? It's like, when you're anxious, you get quiet. He kind of just glares at Yun. It's like, and as soon as he notices you're anxious, Gijo calms down. It's like, I just remembered he's older than you. And Gijo's just like, you can call me big brother. Yeah, it's okay. You can do that. It's like, shut up. And Huck's like, what if the princess and I had kept traveling just the two of us and had no one else to rely on? Just the idea makes me shudder. I lost my friend. I left the Wind Tribe. I never imagined meeting you guys. It's like, Whitesnake, Sinha, Yun. They're like, yes? It's like, but you're all here. And he's silent before he goes, nah, it's nothing. And he silently thinks, and I'm grateful for it. He was like, huh? And you see eep as one of the worker ladies trips, and we have a whoa. As we now switch to Jeho, kind of like gently catches her and goes, are you all right? It's like, ah, yes. It's like, poor thing, your skin and bones. Sit down, it's fine. We're out of the guard's sight. It's like, I have a question for you. Have you seen a red-haired girl here? It's like, red-haired? It's like, I don't really remember. I've had a bit too much alcohol. It's like, it's okay. Don't push yourself. We'll free you soon. Until then, try to drink as little as you can. He's like, huh? But, it's like, got it? It's like, yes. It's like, hey, Green Dragon, sorry to dampen your youthful energy, but come here, will you? And Xeno just got like motioning at him. And you see Ira going, I've spoken to several people who saw girls matching Lady Riri and Lady Yona's descriptions. It's like, so they're here then? It's more like they were here. Xeno talked to a girl who slept in the same room. They were gone in the morning. It's like they disappeared. It's like those who resist are disposed of. Some people believe Lady Riri and Lady Yona were killed for defiance. It's like, Green Dragon, can you go? It's like, of course. It's like, huh? It's like, go where? It's like, obviously, to find Yona and Riri. It's like, the young lady is definitely alive. The two of them must have gotten out somehow. It's like, the girl would never let herself be killed in a place like this. My legs give me the power to find them. It's like, I'll be back. Stay put. Xeno's like, okay. Ira's like, Lord Xeno, please go too. I'll find an opportunity to inform Lord Huck and the others of the situation. Please take care of Our Lady Riri. Okay, and I just got a pat her on the hands like, got it. And you see J.H. sneaking around going, now then. It's like, are you hurt? It's like the logs fell on her. And you see, I think Ira is trying to create a distraction. And so, like, J.H. kind of glances at her and nods. And as he's leaping into the air, you see a tuck, 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 as Xeno comes running in and glomps onto him. He's like, Xeno, could you not jump on me without warning? He's like, sorry. It's like, if you came along, I won't be able to carry all three of you when we find Yona and Riri. It's like, no worries, Xeno will run. It's like, Xeno's powers will probably be useful. The wisdom of age is power. It's like, the wisdom of age is power enough for you. And you see Tosui, a town near the border. It's like, what delicious tea. It's like, thank you very much, Tetra. It's like, His Majesty has remained in Tosui. He seemed to be discussing something with Lord Jungi. Has he given up on getting Lady Riri back? General Judo's mood has consistently been awful. You're late. Uh-huh. Oh, come on. Do you know how fast I rode to get here? And you see Gunte making his entrance as he goes, you get that Chi-Shin isn't nearby, right? And Tetra's like, General Gunte of the Earth Tribe? So, thank you for coming, General. It's like, of course, I'm at your Majesty's disposal. So, what's he doing here? It's like, so, what's the situation, General Jungji? It's like, we still don't know details. It's like, I never envisioned asking for your help. It's like, say kidnap Riri, right? I won't expect anything in return. It's like, what? It's like, you seem calm and all, but you must be half worried to death. Your delicate little girl's been taken. And Riri, Judo and Suwon like, delicate little girl? It's like, excuse me, General, but are you here to save Lady Riri? It's like, yeah, I'm ready to go right now. And Suwon's like, in order to save Lady Riri, I needed enough manpower to satisfy General Judo. And Judo's like, obviously, you wanted to charge in to say yourself. So I quickly assembled some skilled men and brought them along. It's like, Earth Tribe help isn't enough. It's like, huh? So they're not all I've called on. And you see Moondog with the Wind Tribe coming in. It's like, that's a surprise. It's like, the Wind Tribe has arrived in answer to your summons. It's like, I'm glad you could make it. It's like, is that the hero Lord Moondog of the Wind Tribe? Gunte's like, I didn't expect to see you. It's like, I heard Jungji's daughter was kidnapped, and we need to end the Water Tribe's drug problem. The Wind Tribe shall assist you. It's like, that means, so my gratitude for your great concern is beyond expression, Lord Moondog. It's like, Lord Huck's tribe is helping to save Lady Riri. It's like, surely this will do, General Judo. It's like, very well, but your Majesty mustn't be on the front lines. Let us do the fighting. It's like, okay. So the generals of the sky, wind, and earth tribes, the hero Lord Mundok and our nation's king, together they're practically invincible. We'll certainly be able to get Lady Riri back. But what about Yona and Huck and the others? As we get to Chapter 115, Strategy Meeting, and Suwon goes, the nation of Sei currently has 3 rulers, Hotsuma Kushibi and Kazugumo. It's like, right, Kazugumo sits on the throne, but he has no power. His mother, Kuva, and his uncles, Hotsuma and Kushibi, were the ones running things. It's like, were? Kuva passed away 2 months ago. She had great support from the people, while Hotsuma had military might, and Kushibi had economic power. The 3 of them used to work together due to their mutual interests. It's like, but now Hotsuma and Kushibi each want to claim the throne? It's like, yes. Hotsuma and Kushibi are competing to build their forts. They plan to invade Kohka. It's like the water tribe was weakened by the situation with Nadai. They probably plan to take control of that area first and get a foothold there. So they underestimate us. It's like, yes, General Teiyu, they do. So it's already planning to deal with those forts in the near future. So those forts symbolize Hotsuma and Kushibi's power. If we destroy them, we'll deal them both a powerful blow. So but first, we need to take care of Riri. It's like, indeed, our immediate goal is to save Lady Riri, who's probably being held in one of those forts. I want the Wind Tribe and the Earth Tribe to make a flashy show of force to draw the attention of their soldiers. And Moondog's like, as you wish. Guntei's like, flashy, huh? Sounds good. That's right up my alley. It's like, isn't that overly aggressive? It's like Lady Riri might have been forced to drink Nadai. I want to get to her before we start the main event. And Teiyu's like, aren't you going? She's your daughter. And Jungi's like, I fear my eyesight isn't up to it, so I'll be acting in a support role. Teiyu's like, I can't figure this guy out. His daughter must have trouble with him. And you see a note saying, strives to always seem calm, collected, and elegant. They're like, General Jungi may not seem troubled outwardly, but he's very worried about Lady Riri. He's deeply grateful that you're all here, right? It's like, I'm not here just for General Jungi. It's like, oh? It's like, Riri, Lady Riri will be your queen someday, won't you? You see Guntei just kind of like needling him, and someone's like, pardon? It's like, maybe we should hold a wedding as soon as we get her back. And someone's like, huh? What? Just a moment. And Tetris is going all wide. He's like, what? Wait, what? Did I miss something? He's like, you're a sly one, your majesty. He's like, just the other day you denied having someone special in your life and tried to change the subject. I had no idea you and Riri was so close. He's like, what are you talking about, General? Tetra's like, what? What are you saying? He's like, contain yourself, Tetra. It's like, General Jungi, this is a misunderstanding. What have you been telling them? He's like, I'd hardly be so indelicate. He's like, I don't understand what's happening here. Tetra's just losing it in the background. It's like, huh? It's like, since we were summoned, I assumed that meant you were madly in love with Riri. He's like, that's what I thought. And you see Moondog's like, Grandpa thought so too. It's like, I'm sorry, but no. It's like, what? Really? Here I figured I'd be meeting your heir soon. But I guess if that happened, General Jungi would be the biggest winner. It's like, Grandpa has mixed feelings, but he thought so too. It's like, that was quite a leap. It's like, please calm down, Tetra. She's getting like all flushed. She's like, oh my god, oh my god. So at any rate, tomorrow morning, we'll start with Hotsuma's fort. It's like, maybe I should adopt a child, like someone beautiful. It's like, General Guntei, stop. It's like, you see back with Yuna and the others, like, hey, something occurred to me. It's like, what is it? It's like, given how fast you're all working, the fort we should be destroying is almost done. It's like, what? Sinhangi's like, we should go destroy it. It's like, we should tear some parts down. It's like, no way, someone will notice. Huck's like, Sinha, have you seen anything that looks like a signal from Droopy Eyes? And he like shakes his head. It's like, if I see anything, I'll let you know. Right away. And Huck just pats him on the shoulder as he walks out. I was like, that meant thank you. It's like, seriously, even Sinha's worried about me? And he's kind of just like holding the necklace in his hand as he goes, the wish I made was for good luck to come to you. It's like, I wish you'd protected Her Highness, not me. You hear something, it's like, what was that? I sensed someone on the other side. Kohka's just beyond here. Maybe someone looking for a stolen relative? It's like, hey, who's out there? It's like, I'm from Kohka. There aren't any guards within earshot. What are you doing here? It's like, maybe they can't hear me? Or they don't want to reply? It's like, fine. Did you hear, hello? Oh, God, it's fucking Suwon. And Huck turns back. He's like, that voice. It's like, you're from Kohka? It's like, I know that voice. It's like, this could be awkward for you, and the hour is late. It's like, why here? It's like, but do you have a moment? It's like, why now? It's like, what are you doing here? And yeah, you can see just like the anger building up in his eyes, like, Suwon! And you see his heart just like thumping with the thump, the thump, the thump. It's like, hello? Are you still there? It's like, if I may ask, among the people who've been bought here, have you seen a 17-year-old girl with long black hair? Her name is Riri. And you see, oh my god, you see his hands just like scraping his fingernails along the walls, hard enough to draw blood. And it's like, is she there? It's like, you're the only one here, so I'll tell you this. First thing tomorrow, we're going to destroy this fort and invade this land. When we do, I want you to evacuate the prisoners and get them out of harm's way. With your help, we can save everyone quickly without any casualties. please, can you do that? And he's just kind of like silent as he walks away. And as he is, Huck goes, at dawn, I'll give you a signal. So that's greatly appreciated because he's just like biting his lip as he's forcing these words out. So that's greatly appreciated. And you see Yun going, Thunderbeast, where were you? It's like at daybreak, we're destroying this fort. He's like, what? He's like, hey! It's like, it's time, huh? It's like, leave it to me. And you can see you just see his expression on his face and he goes, did something happen? It's like, absolutely nothing. He's like, Huck, if you need anything, call for me. And as he's walking away, you can kind of like see how bloody his hands and his fingertips are. And he's kind of like trying to deal with the rush of emotions he's feeling. And Suwon's also kind of looking thoughtful as he's resting his back against the wall. So I assume he also knew it was Huck as well. It was on the other side. And you have Yun going the next day. It's daybreak. It's like, White Snake, over here. You see Gi just hoisting this huge-ass boulder. It's like, where's Sinha? It's like, looking for our confiscated weapons. It's like, Yun, take the slaves someplace safe. There are people outside who've come to get Riri back. He's like, what? Who? The Water Tribe chief? It's like, probably. It's like, beyond those walls. It's like, he's out there. It's like, Your Majesty, preparations are complete. We can move at any time. It's like, just a little longer, please. Oh my god, is he going to have him throw the giant-ass boulder over the wall? And that's going to... Either he's going to have him throw it over the wall, or he's going to have him throw the boulder, like smash a giant entrance hall for them to be like rushing and marching in. It's like there'll be a signal, and you have beyond those walls. If I tear them down, he'll be there. And he thinks back to Yona telling him, Huck, it's all right. I'm all right. And you hear the guards going, you scum, what are you doing? Okay, so he's using the catapult to do it. It would have been funnier if Gija just threw it instead of catapult, but not a big deal. It's like, White Snake's like, got it. So he puts it down in there. And with a giant thwoomp, they smash a giant hole in the wall. And you have a wah! As everyone from Kohka is looking at the destruction. And Suwon's like, that's quite a signal, Huck. As you have the guardsmen like, oh, what has he done? So you have chapter 116, Enemies and Allies. It's like he smashed part of the fort. You have assemble the troops, kill the rebels. You have White Snake. It's like, take out the catapults so they can't be used against the Water Tribe. It's like, I'll go dispose of their explosives. Like, understood. It's like, right now I need to focus on destroying this place as quickly as possible and saving Her Highness and Riri. And Judo's like, you didn't tell me someone was helping you on the inside. Like, sorry, I wasn't sure what he'd do. Jiro, not good. Curse it all. Tear them apart. Jiro, what? I see another giant boom. And you see Gunte and Munda coming in, stepping in, looking like a couple of badass weapons on their shoulders. Ready to start shit. Like, invaders! So we're going to cut loose. Follow me. It's like, yes, Lord Gunte, we'll follow you anywhere. It's like, Elder Chief, wasn't your backsword just the other day? It's like, shut up. It's like, please stay back, Your Majesty. And you see them all just cutting a swath through all the soldiers. Like, so strong. Who are they? And Gunte is like, I never thought I'd get to see you in action. It's like, this is child's play. He's like, oh, does that mean you're still active? It's like, idiot. Feeble old man like me can beat you. You should. It's like, start training from scratch. It's like, that's the Wind Idea's tribe of idea of feeble. And you see Sinha going, lots of soldiers are coming from the nearby training grounds. And you see, stop right there. As one of the soldiers trying to attack Sinha, you see Teiyu coming to the rescue, slashing him down. And he's like, you're armed, but you're obviously not a soldier here. And Sinha just nods. He's like, are you one of the people taken from Kohka? He's like, I reclaimed my weapon. He's like, he reminds me. He's like, that's impressive. It's like, of someone. He's like, who? He's like, we're going to destroy this place, so make sure you get away. He's like, oh. It's like, Hyongda. It's like, stop fooling around at work. It's like, you betcha. It's like, he's a littler Huck. And Yun's like trying to do like the people manager in the background is like, stay calm, everyone. It's time to run for it. It's like, they'll kill us. Have to work. It's like, wait, stay together. It's like, none of these people are in their right minds. I can't stop them on my own. And you see one of the soldiers going, you failed? Who told you to run? And you have a, not good. And as he's trying to as he's about to slash down at the Moondog comes in and spears him from behind. And you have a, how dare you! And Moondog just slays him, smashes that guy into the ground as well. Noon's like, amazing. It's like, you alright, boy? It's like, yeah. It's like, is he the one here to save Riri? It's like, he doesn't seem like a water tribesman. It's like, if you go to the wall, there's an opening you can escape through. There's clean water there too. It's like, thank you. It's like, if he came for Riri, I need to tell him. It's like that she's not here. He's like, it's like, sorry, I don't have any water with me, sadly. But here's some candy. You can eat it later. And he's like, thanks? It's like, you must have been through a lot in here, but you still tried to help. You're a good boy. He just kind of tousles his hair. He's like, sure. It's like, actually, hear another loud boom. It's like, what was that? It's like, curses. They're using explosives. It's like, survive, boy. It's like, hey, wait. It's like, could that explosion have been? And you see a giant kaboom. Oh, God, he's going to run into Huck. It's like, so, you're using cowardly things like explosives, huh? Moondog's like, over there. I see him. I was like, I've got you. You see a surprised looking Huck. Just tossing a bomb into Moondog's face with a sizzle. And you see a kaboom. And Huck's like, for a second, I thought I saw the old man. It's like, nah, couldn't be. That's impossible. I have to hurry and use these to bring down the walls. You see, Elder Chief! Elder Chief! So Moondog's just lying there from the explosion. It's like, did someone get you? It's like, Huck. Huck is... It's like, no, don't cross the river, Styx. You can't. Even if Lord Huck's calling you from the other side, don't go. Oh, my fucking God. Is Huck just going to knock all of them out with bombs? It's like, you, using explosives against an old man? I'll bring you down to avenge the Elder Chief's death. And he's just like, I'm still alive. As he rushes into the smoke and into another surprised face as Huck tosses another bomb in towards Hyungdae. It's a Hyungdae with like super quick reaction time. He just uses his glaive to bat the bomb into the air where it explodes on the wall instead. He's like, Lord Huck? Yeah, the fastest man in the Wind Tribe. It's like, Hyungdae, is that you? And Moondog's like, Huck. He's like, old man? It's like, who did that to you? It's like, you did. It's like, huh? It's like, you're real? It's like, of course, we should be asking you that. It's like, why are you here? It's like, again, we should be asking you that. It's like, what are you doing? I'm totally confused. It's like, I want to ask you all those things. I mean, we thought you might be dead, maybe. It's like, I'm not. It's like, there you are. Elder Chief, Hyungdae, what are you doing? We're not finished yet. God. It's like, look, it's Lord Huck. Lord Huck's alive. It's like, huh? It's like, yeah, it makes no sense, right? It's like, huh? It's like, I don't get it either. It's like, huh? It's like, I'm sick of hearing that. Use your words, General Gateyu. It's like, Lord Huck. He's about to tear up and he gets all embarrassed. He's like, no idea what to do. And then Moondog's like, Huck, where is Her Highness? And you see Gunte's taking on a couple of soldiers and Sinha's kind of just monitoring all the battle activity. And Gija's like, Sinha, so there's fighting everywhere. It's like, there was a little Huck. It's like, a little Huck? So the person who came to save Riri was probably the Water Tribe chief. So Tetra should be nearby. She could have information on Jeha and the others. It's like, let's go. And you see a tuck, 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 tuck as they run through the wall. And you see it there. It's like, it's like, that's... And you see Gija kind of crossing paths with Suwon. So you have chapter 117, I swore an oath to myself. You have that's... It's like, Her Highness and Huck's sworn enemy. And you see there's like radiating bloodlust and malice as the hand expands. Like, what's with his hand? A monster! Like, stand back! Get away from His Majesty! Tetra's like, wait! It's like, stay back, Tetra. And you see Chungi just like knocking a bow. It's like, Lord Chungi! Not another step, monster. It would be your last. And you see that Sinha pulls out the sword to help Gija out. He's like, please wait, these people are... You have General Jungi. It's fine. Please lower your weapon. And Gija's like, this man killed Her Highness's father. I made a vow that the next time I saw him, I wouldn't try to stop Huck. I thought he deserved punishment for making Her Highness and Huck suffer. So why can't I move? And Suwon's like, excuse me, your hand. Were you born that way? And he's silent before he goes, yes. It's like, what are you? It's like, we are the White and Blue Dragon Warriors. We serve the Crimson Dragon King. Suwon's like, shocked by this revelation. It's like, dragon warriors? The ones from the founding myth? The soldiers are just laughing a laugh. It's like, I wasn't expecting that. He claims to be the incarnation of a dragon god? That's so brazen. Thought he was a monster, but the hand must be fake. It's like the legendary... And Suwon's still like taken aback by this, like the legendary dragons. The white and blue dragon. It's like, I'd like to touch your hand. It's like, may I? It's like, huh? It's like, Your Majesty! He kind of just like gently clasps Gija's hand. It's like, so it really exists. A dragon claw that can tear through anything. And Gija's like, you're not laughing with your men? It's like, why would I? You don't seem like a liar. The Crimson Dragon King you serve. Who is it? And he goes, someone you know well. It's like, I see. It's like, wait. It's like, is that it? Crimson Dragon King is this nation's true ruler. I'm saying you're not that person. Suwon's like, I have no desire to sit on the throne. My only goal is to strengthen our nation so it can't be invaded. Becoming king was a means to that end. I find the 4 legendary dragons quite interesting, and I won't deny their existence, but I have no need for them. I do not desire the power of gods. That is a banger line, I will say. What I want is the power of our people. You can see that Gija's taken aback by this. And he goes, I have one question. Are you here because Lady Riri is involved? He's like, yes. So does the fact that you have yet to save her mean that she isn't here? So what should I do? If I confirm his suspicions, you'll know where Her Highness is. And Suwon goes, General Jungi, Lady Riri isn't here. Please head for Kushibi's fort. It's like, at once. I'll be along as soon as we free the prisoners here. Please call General Judo. He's like, yes. And Suwon just kind of heads into the fortress. And Turtle just kind of bows to them before she follows Gunji. And Gija's like, Sinha, what did you think of him? I didn't get a bad feeling. It was the same when we met in the Water Tribe lands. The air around him is still, but powerful. You can't look away from him. I can't tell Huck this, but even though the king is Her Highness's enemy, he has like those steady, straightforward eyes. It's like, it reminds me of Her Highness, like somehow. We'll pick up back in the forest where Yona and Riri are still hiding. It's like, what part of Sei are we in? And he's like, Riri, I'm going to look for water. Wait here, all right? It's like, Yona. It's like, Riri can't handle much more. And as she's walking through the forest, she hears a tromp, 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 tromp. And she sees an army marching through. She's like, Sei troops? It's like, there's so many. It's like, Sei is planning to go to war against Kohka. And she goes running back to Riri. She's like, Yona, what is it? And then she sees the troops as well. And one of the soldiers notices, like, huh? Someone noticed. It's like, Riri, run! It's like, stop right there. And he looses an arrow on them as they flee back into the forest. It's like, what's happening? It's like, looks like escapees from the fort. After them! As they're running through the forest, you see a rustle, and oh! As Yona trips and she sees cut her leg. It's like, you were hit! It's like, Riri, run! Hurry, get as far away from here as you can. I'll catch up with you. It's like, go without you mean? I can't do that! Oh my god, and you see Riri kind of just like hoisting her up, giving Yona a piggyback ride. It's like, Riri, don't, please. It's like, shut up! It's like, I'm such a fool. I got someone I care about mixed up in all this, and now she's hurt. I'm not even strong enough to face our enemies. Come on, there's no time to rest. I still have the energy to cry. If I can't protect Yona, I'll never forgive myself, even if I die. And you see her taking her to like a little alcove, where she's kind of like covering her with like branches and trees and things, trying to hide her. It's like, where is she? Come on out! And the owl just give her like a cute little smile at the PQ as Riri just pats her. It's like, take care of Yona, okay? It's like, Riri? It's like, stay still and quiet. She kisses her on the forehead and goes, goodbye. Thank you for everything. She goes dashing off. He's like, Riri! It's like, there she is, over there! Catch her! And Yona's trying to chase after her, but her foot's throbbing. Ugh, man. Alright, and you see that the soldiers are kind of pinned her down. It's like, catching her was a pain. It's like, Riri! It's like, so she is an escaped slave. It's like, my leg won't move. It's like, take her away. It's like, now's not the time. It's like, please move. It's like, take her away to the execution grounds. It's like, please. Alright. So I guess quick thoughts on this volume. So I think compared to the last one, this one did a much better job of kind of blending the humor with the seriousness, I think, compared to the last volume. I think again it kind of leans a little part times like even though the humor is good like and solid, I think it leans a little bit too heavily into that again, which kind of undercuts like the very real like human suffering like and stuff we're seeing with like the people being forced to labor away like building this fortress and everything. And compared to the conflict with the fire tribe, like this one with Say and everything like feels a little bit shoehorned in and kind of like abrupt because I mentioned at the start of the previous volume that the conflict with Say when they're doing like the whole Nidai thing, it felt like it ended too abruptly and too cleanly. And so like coming back to it and then kind of like again feeling like the pacing's kind of like rushing to end the conflict as soon as it can be done, I feel like isn't really doing this any favors to kind of like set this up as well as the Fire Tribe conflict was set up. That said, I did like the beginning, even though I kind of like rolled my eyes a little bit again, because again we're kind of getting like Yona being kind of like the damsel in distress to an extent, where she's been kidnapped, just like we had back with the Awa with Jaha's first introduction. The fact that she's kind of been like used as bait again to kind of be dragged into another conflict, so like all of that, I rolled my eyes a little bit though, kind of getting a rehash of that again, which combined with the fact that the Water Tribe Say storyline's kind of lackluster, I think is why I kind of grated on me. It's not the right word. Like that's kind of why I rolled at it a little bit more so than I would have if the Say conflict had been a little stronger. That said, I think the latter parts kind of emphasized why you couldn't have had like one of the dragons do it instead, given how easily they kind of would have been able to put up with the manual labor and stuff they're expected to undertake and do. But I think having Yona really be split off from the main group was good just for the fact of being able to see Riri's development as a foil to Yona and kind of seeing how she's kind of going through the same development, that Yona went through, kind of going from like, naive pampered princess to someone who's kind of becoming more self-assured, more confident, kind of like coming to terms with like the realities of like what she's been kind of blind to and what she's been kind of like sheltered from all her life. So I really like that part of the stuff anyway. Apart from that, I like how we're kind of finally, because a lot of the focus we've had in like the volumes leading up to this has mostly been on like Yona's unrequited feelings for Suwon and kind of like her dealing with that. So I'm glad we're finally getting a little bit more focus on Huck's relationship with Suwon and like how Huck, how Huck's whole deal like compared to Yona's like unrequited romance. Huck's more thing is like the betrayal of trust, like trying to learn to trust and like put faith in other people other than himself, and Yona like learning to kind of set down his burden, as it were, kind of like share it around a little bit. So I appreciate these finally starting to like slowly come to terms, like slowly starting to repair that part of himself. We're slowly starting to learn to trust other people again. So I really like that. And I love how we can still see how conflicted he's feeling with the moments where he's like, scraping his hands hard enough to draw blood. But, he still cannot bring himself to like, hate Suwon as much as he does for the betrayal. So I really liked those bits of development, I think. Like, finally being able to see Huck kind of start to heal and change from that, I think was quite a good little touch. Apart from that, I did like... I liked the little comedic bits of his reunions with the others from the Wind Tribe. That was a really good moment. So really like that. But yeah, like I said, apart from that, like a lot of the conflict would say, I don't want to say feels manufactured. Manufactured doesn't feel right, but it does feel manufactured. We'll see how it gets wrapped up in the next volume or so before I kind of give my thoughts on that. But yeah, like apart from that, like it's been good, bad ones. Much. I think this was a more solid volume than the previous one. But I think I'm kind of looking forward to getting this conflict wrapped up and moving on to something else. I'll see where that goes. I think final closing thoughts before I wrap this video up. Again, like the supernatural, like monster stuff, again feels so extraneous, and I think if there was some more fantasy elements incorporated into this, I feel like it wouldn't feel so much like that. But I can't really fault it. I mean, it doesn't really detract from the story too much. Like, it's just a minor criticism on my end. But every time, I have the soldiers like laughing at like, ha ha ha, oh, the monsters exist. It's like, you see a dude with a giant dragon hand. Like, what are you going to think that is? But again, like I said, minor criticism. So with all that said, as always, I hope you all enjoyed these return of these Yona video read-throughs. Like I said, tomorrow hopefully I'll get around to another 2 volumes. I'm going to try to get as close to caught up as I can with the series by the end of the month so that I can start adding some more new read-throughs into the rotation, so look forward to that. And if you like my content, please do consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff, especially pushing those buttons. Helps train the YouTube algorithm to help promote my videos. Helps reach a wider audience, which I would greatly appreciate if you would help me do that. Like I mentioned in a couple of my other videos, I'm going to try to be more consistent with content creation this year. So yeah, if you want to help me out with all that in whichever way you can, that would be greatly appreciated. Like I said, look forward to more videos tomorrow. Until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.